Hello, YouTube auto community. This is Rusty Rotor. What's on your bench Friday? I've made an executive decision. We're not going to attach a day to the videos anymore. My life is hectic and busy. My niece's is the same way, so I can't pinpoint down a day of a video. So it's going to be when they come in, I upload them, and that's going to be what it is. But we'll still call them like mail call. What's on my bench? Stuff like that. Updates on certain builds. They'll still get titled the same, just not a certain day. Today does happen to be Friday. It's the weekend, so you guys get some modeling in, some family time in. Enjoy it. It's the holidays. It's the time of the season to be doing it, more so than any. Little note, we've been striving for almost 2 years, I guess, here on the tubes, to reach 1,000 subs. I know from a lot of people told me it took them 2 years, it took them 3 years, and I totally get that. I'm just, like I said, I'm like a kid. I get excited. I want to do this giveaway, and I'm always in fear if something sits in here too long, it's going to get broken, damaged, misplaced. And that's part of the push to get to 1,000. The other push is just to pay it forward. So remember, guys, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, hit that bell notification, share it, get other people interested in it, get to that 1,000 mark so we can do that big giveaway. Again, you go back and look at my older videos and you'll find the one on the prizes. The rules, remember the rules are subject to change. That last video, when we hit the 1,000, you need to watch the video from beginning to end. That way you can make sure you got all the rules right. I'm kind of tricky that way. We're trying to keep trolls out of the mix. And what I call daytime shoppers. That's where they show up the day of the giveaway and sub to your channel, and they hope that they win, and then they run with the prizes, and then they stop subscribing to you. That's the kind of stuff we're trying to keep out of the mix. Can't always do it, but we can try. Quick update on the shop. We told you about the shelves we got put up over here. There'll be those shelves kind of down low, and then there'll probably be 2 shelves, and then a shelf above it. We got a diorama that's going up there. We're going to move these pictures over here, and we're going to put 2 shelves up there for the other 2 dioramas, and then the rest will be for display cases or any vignettes that we do. It'll just give us more space to put our finished projects. And then we have the ledge down below also. That getting all that equipment up on shelves will free up that whole ledge. Get this corner opened up a little bit. We can get the rest of our shop cards up on the wall of fame, and any new ones we get in. Guys, I'm always up for shop cards. We switched gears on that. My other niece was the one that created the first shop card and had made the new ones. I've not heard from her. Supposedly they've been done. She has them, and we just can't get to them. So my other niece is going to work on a new design and a new shop card for us. She's the one that does the editing. So there'll be little changes. The right corner of the diorama table, we will move our 3D printing station over there. For the time being, it eventually will go out into the garage when my daughter does move out and she moves all of her art studio and everything out of the garage. We will be using that space for 3D printing, just for the smells. The toxicity of it all is brutal. I do have air purifiers that run, and that does a tremendous job. And I do have ventilation out of the room. It's not a big deal, but I'd rather have it out there. So we're going to move it over here. All the painting and the tools and equipment that are over here will come over here where the 3D printing station is, and then it'll open up a build area right here, also a small build area for like small scale figures, stuff like that. There'll be plenty of space to do that. And then we'll have about 4 foot of table left for dioramas, which is more than enough. Christ, I'm building a diorama right here. I gave it away. Diorama right here on this bench, and there's plenty of room for one. Not really, but for what I'm doing, there is. So, what's on the bench? It's the Villain. If you guys ever go to Instagram and you look it up, it's Sicilia, and the name of the truck is the Villain, so I call it Sicilia the Villain. Again, we We haven't got to talk to the owner of the truck, so we've had to make a couple changes in appearance and looks. But you know me, I always like to go that step above. You know, it's ingrained in me. I can't help but do it. I could spend the rest of my life just adding detail on top of detail on top of detail, because that's how my mind works. And I'm in the perfect hobby for that, so I can really go 1,000 different directions. I don't have to build a model car. I could build a diorama. I could do nothing but military. And I love it all. So it's really crazy. But to stay with the model cars is where my heart is, but I can expand on that a little bit. So as you remember in the past video, I talked about lighting up the villain. I have figured out how to light it up. The problem was where to hide the pack to turn the lights on and off, the battery pack. Nowhere on the truck that I could do that. It was easier on Tom's appreciation build because there was a trunk space that was void. It was a perfect place to get access via the back seat. So that made that easy. Even though it was hard to do, it was an easy solution. Here I don't have that. But we have two choices. I'm really assholes and elbows deep on the diorama for Sicilia. So I decided to pay homage to the owner of the truck. Even though I don't know him, I've never spoke to him. The only reference material I have is what pictures he posts on Instagram. I've never seen the truck posted anywhere else. I've not seen it in any magazines. This is why this community is great. If any of you guys know of this gentleman, you may pass on to him that, hey, I'm building a truck and I'd love to build it spot on versus altering it and changing it. But either way, we're going to pay homage to the gentleman. He is Italian. So I thought, what could I do? What can I do? I've always loved Italian villas, the countryside, the rusticness of the buildings. What could we do? Well, let's place the gentleman back in Italy. The truck is used for deliveries. This is my storyline. The truck is used for deliveries, and he delivers to this neighborhood every day. Right here. That's my inspiration picture. My wife chose it out of 6 to build the diorama to resemble, not exact replica. I altered the buildings a little bit in the picture, but that's the primary focus. And you'll get another look at the inspiration picture here in a minute. So he delivers to this little section of the village, town, each day, delivers fresh flowers, fruits, vegetables, you name it. And it gives us a base to mount the truck to and run the wires and hide the battery box without being seen. I do have connectors so I can disconnect the truck from the base. So if I can't get the diorama done in time for Acme, I've come up with a secondary or plan B, which will be right here. This will be the base. It'll probably have like a concrete wall. This will be like a road. The truck will just be sitting on it. And I'll be able to hide the battery box and all that. And we can light up the truck still and display it at Acme that way. So, actually be working on 2. When I'm done with that one, the little one, I'll probably finish it first. It can be used for any vehicle. Take pictures on, whatever it may be. We may do it like a underpass. One of his pictures does have an underpass. So I may do that on that, and the truck can sit there and look the same as one of his pictures too. There's no pictures of it sitting on a diorama base. That's why I said we're going a little bit above and beyond. As my old friend Tom White of Rambler 69 would say, that's very ambitious of you. And yes, this is an ambitious project, but it's very obtainable. I've got what I would consider to be a long way to finish it. I got a lot done. I've got my kind of arrangement of walls where they need to be. Started on one wall for cutting out doors and windows. It's very multi-leveled, very angled point of view on it. So we'll take a look at it here in a minute. But first, grab the truck. Sorry for jumping out of frame there. Remember, and by the way, the truck is a 1952, not a 1950. Even though we're using a 1950 truck, the only difference in the two is the 52 is a 3-window. It's not the 5-window. Again, if you remember, video past, showed you I used the kit windows to fill in those spaces. We used appropriate body putty to fill in any gaps, and we're ready for primer so we can see what more or what body work is still needed, if any. And leading into the new year, being a little more organized, a little more thinking ahead, thinking outside the box. I've decided to keep everything stored in plastic Ziploc bags. It'll keep the dust off. It will create static electricity, but we get rid of that before we go into the paint booth anyways. After the fact, we can kind of just dust with a little brush and de-static it, and I don't know if that's the word or not, but that's my word, and get the dust off of it as needed. It's going to be a matte finish, so it's not going to be shiny and everything else. So some things out. We're not sure if we're going to use this. If we do the little base, I'll throw this on last minute. And then it won't really matter. The truck could have been shipped from the United States, purchased, whatever, and it's in Italy now. You know, we can change our story. It's our story to change. You all know the kit frame. We do need to remove some pieces from the kit frame. Possibly some of these supports, not sure yet. Definitely the rear bumper supports, the front bumper support and lower pan, and then there's an upper pan that goes on it. We do want that detail on there, so we're going to have to remove that to use. Not sure exactly where to cut yet. We do have the frame. This is exactly the same wheelbase right now as this truck kit is, but mocking the body up on the chassis, it looks like I'm about 1/8 to 1/4 inch off, so I may need to add some more length in here. We did keep the old piece of frame that we cut out. It'll snap loose. I can cut new pieces off of here, add the support, pin them, and we'll be fine. So we just kind of got it tacked in place, so to speak, right now. That's why we haven't painted it yet. We did get our grills, our grill, and our bumpers, and all the chrome pieces that need to be stripped, and they're sanded, and they're ready to go get a bath and then get primed and painted. They will be a satin black finish on all these parts. The tail lights have been drilled for the brake lights to go in, so we've got that done. Our interior, you guys saw before, it's all together. It'll all get airbrush painted, and then we'll use different clear coats to represent semi-gloss, flat, whatever we need to do. We'll detail paint the skull for the shifter. The dashboard goes up into the cab of the truck, so it doesn't mount down here on the floor pan. We've got our hood, our inner fender wells, and our firewall all sanded and cleaned up, ready to go, other than being washed and then dried, then we can primer them. I don't think we'll have to cut out the front fender wells to clear the tires, which is a good thing. Kind of want to keep that detail in there, but if we do, we do. So we'll find out when it comes time to do a mock-up of everything in place. Our bed, it won't fit in the bag, but I got another bag I gotta get out for it. We did get our wheel wells notched for our tires to come in. It does get real wood fender wells built. It will have a real wood floor on top of the bed, the kit bed floor, and it'll get like stained black. And then we'll build our box with a lid. I may order some Detail Masters hinges. There's a little tiny piano hinge so that the top of the bed opens, or I may make some hinges. Save a few dollars. Don't know yet. We're not even remotely close to being there, but this is all sanded. I got a little touch-up sanding to do here and there, nothing major. Then it can go get washed, and we'll get it in primer. We'll see if we need to take any more material away, add some back if we need to. We're right at that point where we can take away, add back if we need to. Our door cards have all been cleaned up. Our heater box. We'll use bare metal foil on the handles, and the door cards themselves will be a satin finish. And then the top edge of it, looks like it's got a top edge. That'll be a matte to match the body of the truck. The cab has all been sanded. You see I got the windows in. And the first coat of primer will reveal anything else I need to do to it. So we've got that ready. We've got our sub-assemblies on the engine, our pieces to replicate what's in the real truck. We were putting an MSD style distributor in it from Morgan's Automotive Detail. You can find him on Facebook and his webpage. Should have that up here somewhere. Great place to go. I always buy 20 or 30 distributors at a time, no less than 10 or 12. Stock up on them because I use them for damn near every build. But we got our headers in there, so on and so forth. The way our headers come down, our exhaust will change, and you're going to see what that looks like here in a second. Our headers come down and go back. Our exhaust goes in and goes up. So we'll probably be cutting our exhaust back here somewhere, straight off to go into the headers, so it matches up. If you guys know what kit this is from, please let me know. I don't know, it's just I had it in my parts boxes, and I just like, man, I really like to use that. I really like the look of it. I can add the detail of the manual cutouts in it and the overall look. So we did go ahead and paint it, and we weathered it up so it's ready to go, just in case that we do use it. If not, I'll hand bend my own exhaust, no big deal. But we're going to try to use this, and it's ready. So now we don't have to do nothing but maybe trim it back a little bit. We may find some headers that come back and dump straight down. That way they'll tie into the existing. Either way, there is the bed, the floor bed, or the floor of the bed. We will put real wood over top of that, and we'll put the rails back in it and add all the appropriate detail. If we do a hand bend exhaust, here's our mufflers we're going to use. There's our HID headlights. You guys can see that. And these are the kit lenses. They fit perfectly. These fit perfectly into the bezel holes of the fenders. So no modification needed there. Those will get a semi-gloss black finish and then a little chrome on the inside. And we'll have to drill it out and put our LEDs in it. There's our steering wheel, and what is the shifter will now become the turn signal indicator, or switch. So we'll just reverse the side. There's our bottom pan that we told you about that goes on it, and there's our tailgate and our floorboards, running boards. Our battery is already done. Got that done about 2 days ago. It's an Optima battery. I just got to put a little decal on it, and we'll put a satin varnish over the whole thing. It'll get the battery cables. We got our seatbelt material already ready to go. The hardware's in here, so all I need to do is cut the length of the seatbelts and install them. We've got some suspension parts front and rear in here. The radiator, we will be using the kit radiator. Our hood hinges, if we decide to use them, I don't know. Rear diff, we're not using the rear diff anymore. Drive shaft and the front, control arm linkages and all that is in here. We will probably use if this doesn't line up and work, we will probably use a rack and pinion. If worst case scenario, and I can rob one out of a Pro Mod kit I have over there. They give you these little wooden rails that go on the bed. I thought about using these to build the box for the air ride system. Don't know yet. Here's our clear parts. Like I said, I already took the 2 windows out, so I put the other ones in a clear baggie. All the other parts are loose that are down in here, and the chrome pieces that go with the kit, they'll stay with the kit. Even the amber lenses, where are they at? I could have swore I saw 2 rectangle shaped ones. Maybe I didn't. They got some big square taillights. We might be able to cut those down, sand them out a little bit, and then use those as the covers for the front on the grill. Remember, I got to cut those out in order to get LEDs in there. And we decided to go amber instead of clear. so we don't have so much front-facing bright light. And then we've got our brake lights right here. Those will go in, and there'll be a red LED behind them. So that should be a really intense look. So let me roll this back in here real quick. But yeah, we got all of our parts separated, cleaned up, ready to be washed, in appropriate bags, other than the frame, because we're not done with it yet. And you know, I can take one baggie out and work on it. There's our dashboard, and we do have a gauge. Sorry about that, guys. It was a insurance call for some of my medical equipment. Anyways, anywho, again, we did get some stuff detail painted. We'll get it out here real quick. We got our diff painted. It's all been varnished. It's ready to be installed. We got our detail on the hog head. Our front control arms and airbags are all detail painted. We just got drill holes to plumb the lines, so on and so forth. Here's the rear airbags. We got to still drill those, but they're done. We got our fuel cell ready. We just got to add a filler tube up to the bottom of the floor bed, because I shaved the side of the truck where the cap was. Now the cap will be in the bottom of the bed floor to fuel the truck up. So we got that all painted and ready. And again, keep everything nice and tidy in a bag. Keep the dust off of it from knocking it off, losing it. Our tires and wheels, you know, I'm like a kid, I can't wait. So we got, there's the rear tires. We got them all detail painted. There's one of the front tires. Got the center caps in. We do got to put a second coat on the red lines. No big deal. We got our calipers and rotors all painted and ready to go. They're ready to be installed. We're not going to hardline the brake lines. And we went ahead and painted up the wheel backs, the little sleeves, in case we need to space the tires and wheels out a little bit, which is looking like I may need to. We got those in a little plastic case. Nice to keep these little things like this. You can put stuff in, keeps the dust off of them, keeps them from losing one or knocking one off, breaking it, anything like that. All that's left is our air ride. Remember, this was designed and printed out by Ernest Spunky. We'll have his location up here. This is spot on. I'm going to detail paint this today. I got to run an errand, but when I get back, that's the plan for today. So let me get the lid on this. Now you guys can kind of see where we're at with Sicilia, the villain. Now we're going to take you from here over to the diorama table. It's not where I'm working on it at, but it's where it's sitting. So again, right up here, guys, you'll see that little inspiration picture. You can kind of see my point of view. This is looking down the little alleyway, all the little units, staircase, and the patio on top. I just not carved the steps out yet. There's doors and windows everywhere, vines, flowers, you name it. This will have a balcony, terrace you can walk out on, and it'll have flowers all around it and vining. The entrance down below. There's 2-unit building back here. At the end of the alley where you already see I've cut out, there's 2 entries and windows on this wall. And then there's a door that'll be underneath the steps. The door right above the steps. There is a door at the bottom of the steps and a window up here, and then another window up here. There'll be a light on the wall back here. To the right, or right above that arched doorway, there'll be a light. You can see my little mark up there. Flower box underneath that window. Pretty much every window has a flower box on it. This terrace will have a flower box on the top rail. Flowers hanging down. Vine coming up the side of the building here and going across the front. Same way over here. And in the back corner, there'll be vines coming up with flowers. A barrel that catches water from the gutter on the corner here. An arched wooden set of doors here, which I think leads back into a unit underneath of this one here. So you can kind of see I got all the walls in place. I'm starting on the steps. I need some help. And that help would be, all the walls are stone finish, so it'll be like earth tones, light grays, beiges, tans, browns, stuff like that. No darker than probably fawn or a desert tan. We're not going real staying light on the walls. The street is where I need help. Should I do a cobblestone, brick? I like the idea of brick. That'll add some depth and dimension, and because it's a different color, be red tones. We'll be adding the moss, like you'll see in the picture. There's like moss and mildew and mold growing on the walls. Pretty much all the detail that's in the picture. Again, right here, we'll be adding those visual details, the flowers and the styles of doors. We're just adding some other pieces that you don't see in the picture. The dimensions are 2 foot, and it's no further than 2 foot tall. Those 2 foot tall sections will be cut down a little bit and sloped for the roof to keep it under that 2 foot mark. I know that's a lot of shows. You can't be over a certain size. Some of it don't really matter, but just in case I take it to other shows, I want to stay within the guidelines. We're only a foot from front to back. We are 2 feet long, so we're okay. We're within the perimeter of everything. I just need some help on the street. What should I do for the street? So drop it down in the comments here. Cobblestone, brick. I don't want to do stone so much because the walls are all stone. I do want to break up the look of it and add a little depth to it. And I think by making a darker road, that adds the depth back into where all the buildings are tucked in behind and in the corner. We are going for that Italian villa courtyard type look. Everybody's really tight knit. Their houses are all right slap dead next to each other, but yet the beautifulness of the architect of it all. Like here's one of the cutouts. This is one door. Whoops, got it upside down. These are glass panels. This is wood. Another one's an arch door. It's got a solid wood arch up here, and then the doors they're just rectangle shaped too, but they're wood paneled. There's a hand bar that goes in the side of the stone right here, and then there's the door handle that goes right there. So when I go to make the doors all out of wood, basswood and balsa wood, I have a visual to go by also. Some other ones I just came up with out of my head. We'll have some red doors and red shutters, green doors and shutters, blue. So we're going to be adding, splash of color here and there, along with all the foliage throughout. I'm thinking about a tree, one tree out here in front of the front, little area that's going to have the balcony coming off of it. The other secondary wall, I think I'm going to do a terrace where I can put a couple little tables and chairs on each side, and maybe have a person sitting there having their morning coffee or tea. And we've got a couple other figures to add to it, but it gives us a place to mount the truck and light it up, and a court lighting on the diorama as well. That's the one that'll go above all my equipment over here, stereo, surround sound, video games and everything. That'll go up here, and we'll move these signs and pictures throughout the shop to other locations. Got plenty of wall space to mount them, so we're good. And then we'll have the 2 dedicated spaces for the Gasser Nights and the garage / workshop diorama as well. And if we ever add the park area to that diorama, we'll have space for that as well on that shelf. Other than that, we can fill it up with display cases down here on the ledge and all around there. So that's my ideas. That's what's going on with the shop. That's what's going on with the first build. Next week, we'll be starting Shorty, so be looking for the video. Shorty is this truck right here. It's the 1967. It is a 3/4 ton F100 4x4. It's going to be an awesome build. I can't wait to get started on it. That'll be on the bench to my left. And we're working on the Pro Street still back here. We're downhill on it. We're almost done. So not pushing it. I want it to be nice and clean. So let me know what you guys think about the diorama, and then the backup base that we could take to Acme with us if we have to. All will be finished out. Some, nice finishes on it. Some weathering, detailing, stuff like that. I really love dioramas. I like working on them. They really bring out the creativeness in somebody. It's everybody's perspective on what they see and how they do it is the end result. So we're hoping for a fantastic look at it. Again, the thumbnail on this video is the real truck. Again, if you follow him on Instagram, or you want to go follow him on Instagram, it's Sicilia, the villain. There's a little Italian flag next to Sicilia. And he's got a slew of pictures and little short videos in there of the truck in action, raising up and down. I don't know if that's his girlfriend, his wife, what it is, but she's in a lot of the little videos, driving the truck a lot. They absolutely love the truck. I can tell by the way they make them. And I fell in love with the truck. The truck is very simple, simplistic as can be, but yet is very unique. I know there's other trucks out there like it, but you know, it's all in a class of itself, or by itself, and that's what really drew me into it. And most of the pictures, the headlights are on, all the lights are lit up. It's just starting to get dusk, and it's got that villain look to it. So he definitely picked the proper name for the truck. Sicilia, I don't know if that is the name of the truck. I'm assuming it's both, so we're calling it Sicilia, the villain. Again, I've never had contact with the gentleman, so I don't know one way or the other. But if you do know him, you've chatted with him, please let him know that I've been trying to contact him to build it. Send him the link to the video, let him watch it. He can see my ideas and plans for it, and maybe he'll contact me, and we can communicate, and I can get some better pictures, and maybe we'll change our approach on the diorama too. Right now, nothing's attached. It's just temporarily tacked in place, and just getting our locations for doors and windows and staircases and stoops and balconies and all that put in place. And then we'll start carving all the stone in, and then all the fun will begin, because we'll be plastering over the stone, filling the grout lines, then the painting, the weathering, just like any other diorama. So the way you guys can stay up with all this and watch this build is subscribe, because it's free. Bell notification, that'll let you know when they come out. And, you know, help us achieve our #1 goal right now, which is getting to 1,000 subs. The air ride system, that's what we're going to work on today. We've been working on that all morning, so I'm kind of happy to step away from it right there and focus on a couple other detail pieces, getting some holes drilled in it, getting it painted to match, and this will get put up until we're ready to install it and run all the hard lines, the soft lines, and all that on it, which will be down the road. But I'm just trying to get about a month's head start into this build. That way we can kind of flow through it, get it done, and get Shorty done. Then it's on to the next builds. Got some parts coming in the mail that Ernest designed and printed off for us, so we'll take a look at those when they come in. That again is for the purple Challenger. I showed you inspiration pictures for. It's just a fun project I want to do. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be anything. It can just sit on my shelf, but I've fallen in love with the look of the car, the aggressiveness of the look, and that's what drew me to it, so I want to build it. But until the next video, we pretty much covered everything without rambling on. This is Rusty Rotor. I'm out.